All right.
What up?
We're going to jump into the black box letter for tonight, and the black
Oh
box letter for
shit.
tonight is a very interesting one, man. It comes from the homie Malcolm.
Oh, he
Malcolm
put
writes,
his name on this shit?
"What's up, brothers? My name is Malcolm, and I'm 26 years old. I've been checking out your show ever since a while back when you had a defense attorney on to explain what to
Yeah,
do when we got
yeah.
pulled over by the police. Since then, I try to make sure that I catch all the episodes I can. Hearing OG speak the truth the way you guys have been has been great to me. Since listening to you guys, I've tried to make it my priority to take my physical and mental health more seriously. So
Good,
thank you for
good.
that. But here is my problem. As much as I've grown in the past year, there are still things that I'm working on, and I think I got myself into a
Mm.
situation. I had an incident 2 years ago where I found where I got clowned about my sexual performance in a group chat that a girl I was seeing was a part of. I'm not going to lie to you, the whole experience messed me up. Flash forward to August of last year, and I meet an older woman, 40 years old,
Mm-mm-mm.
on POF. Before the first time we had sex, I took Viagra so that I wouldn't have the same
Oh,
experience.
bruh.
Sex with her is and has been great. The problem is that I've been taking pills since then to get right, and she doesn't know. I don't know how to tell her. I'm really at a loss right now because I'm starting to dig her, and this is slowly becoming more than physical. I'm really worried about what would happen if she found out. Uh, yeah. Um,
Damn, Malcolm. Jeez, bruh.
my guy.
Damn. And I'm gonna tell you the truth,
My
Malcolm.
guy.
I can hit you with a
Don't
a
hold up.
clip,
No,
a clip
stop,
full
stop,
of
stop.
jokes right now.
Back up, because I know this was my fear when I got this letter that you was going to be in it, and I know how you negate other people's feelings sometimes when you start to speak.
No, let me
So
finish
please
though,
be
bruh. I
gentle
was
with this man.
listen, man. I was going to say that, like Malcolm. I could hit you with two full clips of jokes right now, bruh. The fucking jokes, the jokes write themselves, bruh. Listen, I don't have to do no work here. I can just
Nigga,
blow you away.
nigga,
But
you the worst.
you don't need jokes right now, man. You really need some good fucking strong counsel. And one of the things that you really have to understand, a couple of things. First off, women talk to other women about men's sexual performance as much or more than men talk about to other men about women's sexual performance. So the fact that you read some shit in a group chat that some woman said that you was interested in about your sexual performance, you cannot allow that to fuck with you in the manner where you begin to do damage, potentially damage that can never be corrected by taking Viagra all the time, bro. You too young currently to be experiencing those types of sexual difficulties. Now, here's one of the reasons why you may be experiencing these sexual difficulties is because the shit that you read in the group chat, dog, fucked your head up so bad that now you don't even trust your sexual performance anymore, and you leaning on something that is not a natural enhancing capabilities, to the point where you falling in love with some 40-year-old chick who done put it on you, and you can't even trust yourself to do shit right way because you done still fucked up about what this girl put in the group chat. So the reality of it is, bro, you got two options here. First option is stop the fucking Viagra and take your ass to a fucking counselor if you feel that bad. Your self esteem is damaged that severely that you are leaning on something else. Go see somebody, brother, because I'm almost guaranteed that in some other area in your life, your fucking self esteem is trashed there too, to the point
Hmm.
where you're leaning on
Mm,
this to do it.
mm,
And
mm, mm, mm.
the second option is, bruh, keep taking it and suffer the consequences that comes along with it, that when you do get
Nigga.
40, you really gonna need Viagra because your body has adjusted and adapted to needing. It's just like
It,
any other drug, bro.
nigga,
Just like
it
any
gets
other
worse than
drug.
that, man.
It,
It
it,
gets worse than that shit, dude. Like,
it
no
ain't healthy,
bullshit.
bro. It ain't healthy
My
for you
God.
at 25 to be taking Viagra on that level. And the reality of it is, if you're gonna be honest with this old head, bro, listen, She done been around for a while, bro. She ain't gonna
Word,
deal with you lying to her ass all the time. Anybody got time
word.
for that shit?
Not even just that, but honestly, older women are probably going to be more understanding given the
No,
circumstances. They've been
don't
around.
you dare tell them that man that
No,
lie.
no, 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 no. That's not a lie because, like you just said, they've had the experience. They've been around the block. It's not like this is going to be the first time a
And them
motherfucker.
motherfuckers is tired. They ain't putting up with that shit no longer. Man, listen, some of you older women that's in the chat, tell the truth. If this motherfucker, you know damn well you ain't got the patience, Danielle. I see you. I know you ain't got the damn patience to do. I know you ain't got the patience to deal with that shit. I know you would be throwing him and everything out the damn door. But seriously, he has to make better choices in this situation. He can't continue to be on this path.
Yeah, no bullshit.
He can't. Health wise, it's just not healthy for you, bro. Honestly,
Yeah,
you
I
talking
got it.
about in one breath that you listening to us about your mental
And
and
he's
physical
getting
health,
better. And I
bro.
think. Hold on, we're just going to take. Excuse me if we take full credit for you trying to make this transformation of yours, Malcolm.
Well, obviously your ass ain't listening if you
Now
popping Viagra like they
he's
fucking
listening.
Starburst jelly beans.
He's listening. He wrote in. He needs the advice.
And
Hopefully,
his
this
name
is
ain't
going to help
Malcolm
him
either.
make.
You're
I know
lying.
it's probably
Go
a
ahead.
pseudonym. He is like Dr. Seuss nigga. This ain't his real name.
You ain't right me with your real name. I know.
No, he did. No, he did. But real talk though, man. All jokes aside, I think this is like you go down this. I got the letter and I started reading it, and I was like flabbergasted, right? Like you said, 20 some odd years old. What the hell? And I can understand in some capacity, like you have the performance anxiety and all that other stuff, but then you start reading some of the research behind it or some of the details behind the industry, for lack of a better description. And the industry's almost intentionally is targeting kids Malcolm's age, man. Like when you go to some of these sites, it looks like it is designed specifically for Gen Z, millennial age folks that technically at their age do not need the medication. One thing that I saw that was also so ridiculous. Do you know now that there are so many sites that you can go and legally get Viagra? I'm not talking about like the gas station pills. I'm talking about Viagra without a doctor's prescription. There are sites. There's one site that just launched earlier in last year, I think, or the end of the year before, called Viagra Connect. In the first 12 weeks, excuse me, of that site launching, they made $8.6 million.
But think about it though, man. Remember, we live in a capitalistic society. Motherfuckers who invented Viagra didn't invent Viagra so you can get your jaw up so you can enjoy your sexual life better. They created Viagra ultimately for them to make more money. So they already have the older generation locked in. You already got the older generation locked. It only makes sense from a marketing standpoint to do what?
But hold on. This is, and that was one of the things that I read that really kind of blew my mind and made me kind of also feel a little bit sorry for Malcolm in this instance. That not only are they targeting people like Malcolm, they're playing in on that anxiety. And I've read reports where it says doctors across the country are saying that their caseload in terms of who they give these ED pills to are almost triple that in people's Malcolm's age than those 40 and above.
But also think of it too. One of the reasons why the younger generation are also needing these types of things is why? Because porn usage, for one, is at an all-time high. And without going down this particular path, you can't spend most of your days, your youth, masturbating and watching porn and not think when you get older you're not going to have some sort of issues with your
perception
penis
and
being
with sex.
correct. It's just like any other thing. The more wear and tear you put on it and the younger, the worse off and the least it works when you get older. But it's just we got to be mindful. And the problem is, Malcolm, you got to be careful of everybody in some sense, one time or another, has had performance anxiety or some sort of issue.
No, you're right. You're right.
And it can just simply be you're overexcited. It can be something as small as you didn't had too much caffeine.
Facts.
Or it could be the fact that this woman is so attractive. These things actually happen. But because men don't typically have these conversations about performance anxiety, not being able to get it up, ejaculating too fast. We don't have these open conversations because when we do, we looked at as a punk and then we ain't no good sexually. Don't be too hard on yourself, bro. And
I
it's
think that
affecting you too bad, man. Go see a counselor for real.
listen, my guy. I think I think we'd be remiss if we didn't delve into that a little bit more, man. That is, I think, the bigger issue at hand. The society, men and women at this point, the expectations that we put on men or their sexuality, and I think that we wear that in some instances like a badge of honor, like, you know, how many women you knock down or how long you can last and all that other stuff. But if you're not one of those guys, the level of fear,
anxiety.
right, anxiety that you feel, I can understand how it can be debilitating. I had to reach out to some of, because I want to make sure that I get the spectrum right, and I asked some of our gay homies. Matter of fact, I asked Bazaar the other day, earlier today, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, does this even happen in the gay community? I mean, if you have men that are no, I wanted to make sure I said as
men,
the
conversation or the performance anxiety?
Not the conversation, but do you put these types of expectations on other men, given that you all understand what it is like, right? You understand what that is like. And he was like, shit, that shit probably happens more in the gay community than it happens in the straight community. At least that women can temper your egos and all that other stuff. But men, they're like, there's certain expectation that men put on men. And it's true. If you've been a teenager, middle school, in a boys' locker room, you know what it's like to feel physically inadequate or feel like you don't belong, or whatever the case is. Talk less as you get older as a young man, developing and not knowing the ropes or whatever you want to call it, and having these expectations on you, or you internalizing the wrong expectations, and then how that manifests itself in your relationships. It's going to come out like this in some capacity, right?
Yeah. So I Malcolm, go to a doctor, man. Have a conversation with your doctor, bro, and talk to your doctor. So and we're not even going to talk about how you're getting the Viagra. We're not even going to have that conversation about how you're getting it, because I know how much folks are selling one of these pills for, bruh. I know, and just keeping it a buck, to the point where a homie of mine sells them, right? And he was like, man, this is such an easy hustle. He's like, bro, all you got to do is go to the doggone doctor and tell the doctor this. He going to write your prescription. And the amount of money you make off of one pill. And I was just like, bruh, but you know, just morally, that's just not my thing. I just can't. But
so he was trying to put you on as a hustle.
He was trying to put me on this hustle because folks sell this. And man, listen, man, this is such a layered rabbit hole-ish topic that is so intertwined with masculinity, regardless if it's heterosexual or homosexual. The masculine component of making sure that you're able to perform and living up to some sort of sexual standard that we have put on each other, bro, it's scary. And yeah. And you got sons.
Yeah, man. I don't know how I'm going. Well, I won't say that. I think that honestly, that I'd have an opportunity. Me and my son, I talk to my son, and I'm hoping that doesn't change the older he gets. I'm going to make sure that doesn't change. But to your point earlier, man, like I said, man, when you start going down this rabbit hole, it's really ridiculous. Said that Viagra or erectile dysfunction medication is the most counterfeited drug in the entire world, and that combined
in the world
of all these erectile dysfunction drugs, all of them, Viagra, Cialis, all of the ones that you can name, right? That combined per year, they are a $500 billion business.
So it only makes sense that they begin to marketing to young people, doesn't it?
$500 billion, and that's the legitimate way. Talk less of the folks that are, like you said, doing it on the hustle.
And we put such a heavy emphasis, man, on
male sexuality and virility,
on male sexuality, that it's just it's such a standard and such a thing that you really can't live up to it, man. You just can't. And that's why so many dudes are lying and doing the things that like Malcolm is doing, because of the pressure that has been put on them by society, that trickles down to the pressure that we put on ourselves. Next thing you know, we're popping pills and we're lying to women that we're falling in love with. But
Well, we didn't answer Malcolm. Well, I think we did. I think you did. But I'll say this as well.
Go to the doctor.
Besides going to the doctor, because the side effects and all that other shit that comes with continually doing Viagra is not a fucking joke. But besides that, you got to tell this woman the truth, man. You've honestly been living a pseudo lie.
Me and O disagree yet.
I know, dude, my guy. I think he needs to tell her in some capacity, because what I'm assuming is going to happen. He cuts that shit cold turkey, and then his performance drops off, and she's wondering what's going on. And you know, just like
I think
anybody,
at that point in time, you tell her. That point in time,
so you think wait until that becomes a problem before you say anything.
And you begin to cut back, go the natural route. There's a ton of natural supplements that you can take potentially out there that can help out. Just look at that. But I don't think that you go into it and be like, oh, you know, I've been popping Viagra to get it up, and so every time that I'm knocking your back out, the reason why I'm able to knock your back out is because I'm taking Viagra. So the next time I try to knock it back out, if I don't knock it all the way out, halfway out, there's a reason why it's the Viagra. She gonna look at you like, motherfucker, what are you talking about? Like, what? No, so you wait, bro. You cut back, you figure out something else to do, and then you know, if your performance is still failing, then you have a conversation together, because she might be able to stimulate you in some ways that you no longer need Viagra pills, bro.
So hold up. I'm very surprised to even hear you say this. You, Mr. Be open and honest dialogue 24/7. You shouldn't be afraid to have these conversations. And now you're telling this dude to continue to live the lie until she turns around and makes it an issue.
And the reason why I don't think he should tell her, because at the moment, the lie is not being harmful to either one of them at the moment. It's a victimless lie, essentially. It's not like
it is a victim.
I ain't touching that, bro. Nope. But I'm just saying, at the moment, he doesn't have to have that conversation with her, because I just don't think that he needs to have that conversation at the moment. If his performance continues, it falls because he doesn't take it anymore, I think then you have a bigger conversation, a better conversation. Mm-hmm. But again, Malcolm, this is one of those great things that if you're really into her and you fall in for her, you should be able to have open conversations with each other about sex, things you like, things you don't like, things that might stimulate you more that she's able to do or willing to do.
Yeah.
Take a risk, bro. Yeah, she's 40. She done
been around the block. I'm assuming.
No, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna call her that. I ain't gonna say that. Nope.
You know what? You know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what? Let me clarify myself. I don't need an Elgin letter coming in the mailbox this week. This woman has lived long enough to experience.
Oh, you tried. You can't do it. Leave it alone, bro. Leave it alone.
Yeah, let me put the shovel down. Let me put the shovel. Nope. All jokes aside, Malcolm, make sure you have these conversations, man. You should be having these genuine and open conversations about what it takes to be a good partner anyway, regardless of if you're taking the pills or you're not taking the pills. So, I mean, man, I hate your ass so much. You make simple shit so fucking difficult.
You were going to talk about her experience, bro. Do you know how that was going to sound?
Listen. Like, I didn't ask for her. I wasn't talking about her body count. I was just saying the fact that she's. Shut up! I hate you. God damn it.